Hello, everybody, and welcome to Humor and Healing. We're back. Irvin's back. We're all back. The whole gang is back, guys. How's it been, man? How's it going? We have everybody in the studio. Irvin's here. Gabby's here. Rocio's here. And we're here to answer your questions and help you in any way, shape, or form when it comes to family, relationships, dating, marriage, whatever that is. Let's get this started, guys. Ready? So how was your week? Let's start with that.
Oh man, you know what? You have weeks where you feel amazing, and then you have other weeks where you're like, damn,
God, no.
rough week, man.
Is it Wednesday? Oh. What makes it tough? Because all you're doing is listening to
man.
problems.
Dude,
Yeah,
Not even your problems. What makes it hard?
No, you come out of every session, and if you did good, you feel good. If you're like, damn, this is not going well, obviously you don't feel good. But I had this couple I've been working with for 2 years. We've really been trying to make it work, and we just had that conversation where the wife was like, I'm done. I was like, oh my
I
God,
was
my
about to
God.
ask, when do you know you failed as a therapist? When they go,
That's
I'm
exactly
out.
that moment.
Oh,
That's when
wow.
That's
2
hilarious.
years and you
Dude.
lost?
Dude, I lost it, man. But it was an uphill battle because you could tell one of them was checked out, and we made progress. We got them in a good place, but honestly, when someone is just not in it anymore, you just make it tolerable, but they don't want to be in it.
Did you feel like they broke up with you?
No, they still want to continue
Oh,
to work
okay.
with me, but it's just more of like for them to amicably break it up. Like
Yeah.
Just,
Oh, make this breakup peaceful.
yeah.
How are we going to
yeah.
separate the assets and all that?
Yeah. So
Oh, that means there's a lot of money at stake.
yeah.
Yeah. So, wow. Is that an L for you? Does your boss
That's-
then come to you and go, listen, let's talk about your track record?
She puts that on the scoreboard. And it's just
I don't know, dude. We're here in the business of making them together, not separating them. Like, this is not good.
No, I remember. I genuinely keep track of like every couple that it just didn't end well. I distinctly remember them because it's such a big deal.
Of
Like,
course.
it's not a small like, hey, we're not gonna reschedule. It's a breakup. Like, not with me. It's like we can't make this work. And they never blame me for it because they know I'm doing my best. It's just that you can't convince someone to just love another person.
yeah.
It just doesn't work that way.
Now, when they do stay together, do you get a bonus or pat on the back? Is there a bell you
You
ring?
get
Ding,
a
ding, ding, ding,
bonus.
ding. They're still going to be fucking around.
I get referrals, man. I do. Like, that's how I get a lot of couples to come my way. But
Okay.
but yeah, no. When it goes well, it feels great to see people on the brink of divorce, and then for them to like turn it around. Like, that's nice to see that, But
Alright.
those times it doesn't go well though, yeah. Those are tough weeks.
Well, I had an amazing. I'm sorry, bro. I didn't bomb. All my shows were great. We sold out all of Friday and
That's true.
Thursday. We had a great show
So
yesterday. Nobody got divorced. One person wanted to propose. If
Oh,
that
okay.
counts on the
Wow.
show.
Right
So,
Oh,
yeah,
cute.
but that's that. But it was a great show. You? How you been?
I didn't have any of this going on. I'm sorry, Irvin. That's horrible.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I busy. I had fun. I had no issues with me. How about you guys?
I think it was a rough week for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
you
me and
did.
Irvin were like having a rough week at work too. It's just, well, you and I work together.
Yes.
But for me, it was just my candidates were just. It was a loss for me this week. No candidates
It happens.
bringing to
Yeah.
the
Can't all be Richard.
organization, but
Shake it off. Shake
and
it
then
off.
of course, being Gabby. Of course, I gave Irvin a rough week as well. So
Oh, there you go. See, even therapists have rough times.
Yeah.
he learns from me.
Irvin's at home. I don't eat this today. I don't
I
eat this
know.
today. I lost a couple today. I don't
Well,
eat
that's
this.
how he gets to practice,
He probably does therapy on me, but
That's how he gets to practice. Well, that was great, guys, getting to know about your weeks, and I hope it gets better, Irvin,
Yes,
and you don't break anybody else up anymore.
Yeah.
And
Stop
Richard
breaking
keeps selling out shows
it.
so you can
That's
buy
true.
me nice things.
Yeah.
So, guys, there's a couple of videos I actually wanted to show you guys, and they're pretty interesting, I think, they're and funny somehow. There's one I'd really like to show you guys, and I want to start it off. I guess we're going to start off strong.
Yeah.
This lady abandons her husband after becoming famous, like TikTok famous. Like, she went viral, and then she's like, peace out. Let's check it out.
Her name is Liz Padilla, and she abandoned her marriage of 7 years and her 2 children in order to become an influencer. She led a simple life. Liz Padilla lived with her husband of 7 years and her 2 small children in a small village in Peru. And then one day, she made a dance tutorial with her husband, and it went viral. And then she became famous. Television shows wanted to interview her. Before you knew it, calendar was filled with appearances. So then she decided village life was not for her anymore. When she went to Lima, Peru, the capital of Peru, she decided to stay there. Never mind the fact that she was married to this man for the last 7 years. Never mind the fact that she had 2 children, younger than 10 years old. And I know what a lot of women are going to say. Let her pursue her career. What's wrong with that? Her main complaint is that her husband wasn't going anywhere in life. He was a very simple man. He bred chickens for a living, and she wanted more out of life. Here's the thing. She's probably going to make some money, but one day those children are going to become adults without her. And she's going to regret every dollar that she makes because she's not going to be there when those children need her the most. I believe when you become a mother, it's a commitment until those children are adults. You don't get to leave halfway through. You don't get to abandon your children and pursue a career. If you're going to have children, your commitment is to raise your children, and then you can pursue any career you want. But to leave those children behind, the rejection those children are going to feel, their mother left them. I'm all about women becoming independent. But once you commit to raise children and you leave them behind, you're not worthy of those children.
So, what do you guys think about that? She just said
Dang.
he's
You
her
want to do a
husband.
little hard with me, bro?
2
Let's
kids.
Just do a little hard.
See?
Hey, we could be famous.
I mean, goes viral, left her 2 kids and husband behind from a small town in Peru.
Wow. Damn. So if your husband walks in and says, "My wife left me because she's a TikToker,"
Yeah,
like
what
how do you address this, or how do you help that couple out? Or did she do the right thing? I mean, because she's saying I wanted to be happy, right?
Of course.
She does that because she's not happy where she's at, and I think everybody deserves to be happy.
Yeah, no, look, I agree. I mean, everyone should do whatever they want to do in this life. We only have one life, right? But I think the moment you have a family and kids, I think there has to be some level of responsibility or commitment. Like, you're committed to this family you created. And although you're going to be unhappy for a little bit because you have to spend time with them, that's a decision you made when you had them. And I've had that. I actually had a patient that's a teenager that I work with where mom walked out. She literally was like, I just want to have fun. I don't want any responsibility. I'm out. And just the like chaos she left behind. Like this girl had issues like forever just because of that.
Because of her mom leaving this. Now let me ask you this: dads do it all the time.
Yeah.
Do they cause the same kind of issues?
They do. I'll be honest. Usually, the mom tends to step up and starts taking the role of both mom and dad, and they tend to do okay. But I don't know. Something about the mom leaving seems to really mess up the kids a lot more.
See, when I saw this, I started looking at it going, so what? Men do it all the time.
Yep.
I know comedians that are married with kids, and I'll ask them, are you married? Oh, yeah. Where's your wife? Chicago? I'm like, really? Oh, yeah. I'm here in Hollywood making it, you know? And nobody blinks an eye. When men do it, all the rappers, comedians, actors, when the man leaves the nest and goes out to find fortune, everybody understands and nobody's making videos. But this lady decides to go for her dreams. And I understand she's married and all that, but guys do it all the time. Now we're going to blink an eye and go, oh, this is not cool. You know what I mean? So in the same sense, I don't want to be a hypocrite because I know I have a bunch of friends that have done this, that they felt like they were holding them back. And it really does, because as an artist, you're watching everybody blow up, and now you add yourself to that list of artists in your mind. Why? Because everybody around you is telling you how good you are, even though it's some stupid little video you did on TikTok. But then you start feeling like you're missing out, and maybe you're holding me back. And me and Rocio have had moments like that, and that I feel, and we've had a talk where I tell her, I don't leave because you tell me don't go. And I feel guilty going when she tells me don't go. Stay, why do you have to work tonight? And I had to have a conversation with her and tell her, you can't say that to me because now I feel guilty. You understand? I'm not leaving because I have to leave, but I understand that sometimes I'm leaving just to hang out and network. So I have a choice to stay or not go. I mean, stay or go.
Right.
But when she says, don't go, please stay, I'm going to stay. And I kept doing that. And at the end, I kept seeing everybody on social media, and I felt like I'm missing out. And I started resenting her.
Right.
Because you keep telling me to stay. I keep staying because I'm just waiting for one excuse not to go out and work. And it's so comfortable to stay at home. So I started resenting her of my shortcomings. And I said, no, that's not it. It's not her fault. It's me being disciplined and understanding. If I need to go, I need to go. And I need to be strong enough to tell her no. I did ask her, please, do not say that to me anymore. If I have to go to work, just say, good luck, be careful, that's it. But don't tell me stay, because if you tell me to stay, I'm going to feel
cry
guilty.
now in silence.
Yeah.
Just cry.
I just cry in silence now.
Oh, we
Jesus
are by
Christ.
the window.
We can't say to stay.
We can't say this.
We just look at him with sadness.
But going back to your point, you said a really strong word. I think resent, and I think it's interesting because I'm just gonna be devil's advocate here and say, why is it just her obligation? Like you said, men do it all the time, but she just wants to find something that makes her happy. And so, like, at the end of the day, she's gonna resent her family or her husband for saying, "Hey, don't leave us." Of course, I'm a mom. I would never do this, right? But I do think of myself sometimes being without Nate sometimes, or not even like married, and I think, oh, all the things that I would do, I would have like gone to this other school or do so many different things and not even think about other people because that's another life. And so what if she's just like Irvin tells me this all the time. He's like, you know, there's times where I am grumpy or angry about something, and he's like, you just genuinely don't seem like you're happy. And I'm like, every time he says that, I pause and I'm like, am I happy? Am I happy doing what I'm doing? And so, like, for me, I think in a way, she, though I don't agree with it, like, in my side, because obviously I could never leave my son or my family, but she's doing something that not a lot of us would have the courage to do, and just, like, go and pursue her actual dream of whatever she's trying to do. So I think it's just weird that, like, she does get judged for it.
You don't think also it has to do with where she lives? In a small town, Peru, there's nothing there. There's never been anything there.
Absolutely.
She's never had anything, and now she has something, and I'm just going to take off. But, like, why take off without everybody else?
Listen, not a problem. As long as you're willing to take in all the pushback and all the resentment. Because just like we talked about resentment, you don't think that kid is going to be resentful? Oh, you weren't happy with me? I wasn't enough. That's what the kid's going to say. I wasn't enough.
True.
All right, well, what's next?
Well,
What's
we got another one on the agenda. And this is, I think, really interesting because I think one of us doesn't even have a social media account. I'm not going to say any names, but...
I thought you were going to say Social Security. I was
mean,
like, I just got one. I don't want you to say.
yeah, so it's
Who
about...
doesn't have a social media?
It's
I
there.
don't know.
You do have
It's
it.
Irvin.
I mean, you just never go
What's
on
your
it.
social media,
Irvin.
Because I don't think I follow you. And I've known you for years.
I'm working
Irvin.
on
He's
it.
too
It's
cool for
a
us.
nameless TikTok. That's about all.
But
I
now
do.
we understand why, because there's a video here that we're going to watch. It's about couples who don't post their partners. They tend to be more happy. Let's watch it.
All right, let's watch this.
Let's
video.
watch this.
It's a new study that claims that happy couples are less likely to post their partner on social media. The results found that those who share 3 or more couple selfies per week are allegedly 128% unhappier. The study suggests that, quote, trust issues could be causing these unhappy couples to post more often on social media.
They're posting around all the time. Somebody is fucking around. It's to prove
And
a
somebody
point.
found out.
All right. So, Irvin.
Is that why you don't
Why
have a
don't we
TikTok
have
or
a-
Instagram?
I'm so happy.
We
I
are
don't need
so
social
happy
media.
together.
That's the problem. I'm just so happy. No, you know what? I will tell you 1,000,000% that's true. That is so true with the couples I work with.
Really?
Because I asked people like that. We've joked about it. You've told me that before. And one thing that I remember you told me was, especially if they have a joint account, someone cheated. There's no way around it. Somebody cheated.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
what? Really? And so I ask my patients, like, hey, do you guys have a joint account? Like, just, casually in session we're talking. I
Like
have
a social media account.
Like a social media account that's joint. like both of their names.
Oh yeah.
And I asked it to 2 couples that there was infidelity, and sure enough, they did. So that made me laugh because I'm like, oh crap, that's kind of true. Like it's pretty bad, right? But it's true though. Like there's just this weird thing. Like you say it all the time too, right? If you have to say you're this thing, that means you're not, right? If you're like, oh, I'm a boss lady, or I'm this, or I'm that, right? If you have to say it, you probably aren't it, right? And so it's the same thing, kind of like if you have to post that you're so happy, you're just projecting. There's a good chance you're probably not.
Ah, thank God Richard doesn't post me.
No. Before you say thank God Richard doesn't post anything, can I make a point here? Hold on, because I've been holding for him to be done with this because I am ready to unleash it.
On his post.
No. Let me tell you something. In the beginning, when social media first started, you never post anything about me. Look at me. Even my picture in the cover is us. Like you're never posting me on the page. You never post me. You're never posting me or the kids. You're never. Look at this. Look at this.
Okay, first
Why don't I post you? And I've even from day one. I mean, this is my job. But the reason I didn't do it is not because we're happy or we were unhappy. The reason I didn't do it is because I'm among idiots that are comedians just like me, and they tend to comment things that are inappropriate.
Yeah.
And they take the freedom. They think that just because they're home, they're going to say, oh, look at you, that's an ugly-ass kid, or they'll do stuff like that, or they'll start talking about your wife. And so now I'm going to get on an argument on social media with another comedian, and I'm going to create problems for myself. Why? Because I'm not going to let them disrespect my family.
That's true.
So for me, it was more protecting my family, and I didn't want them to talk about
It's still
that.
cute.
That's it. But
I thought that was why he didn't post so much.
yeah,
Because
that's
he was
why
protecting
initially
it.
I didn't want them to be exposed to that world because they shouldn't be reprimanded or punished because of the shit I say on stage. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or the things that I might say joking around to somebody on social media, and they go, "Fuck you and your family. Look at this." And they'll start
But also,
putting-
there's also those couples where like they don't want to show their significant other because like they're just not
Tafellito?
they're not ready.
"Ta feíto, ta feíto." Then when they're ugly.
One is either
Yeah.
tafellito or two is they're like they're not sure where they're at in the relationship yet. Like they're not really fully sure. Like I don't know if we're gonna last long enough. I don't know if we're gonna be
Let's
there.
be for real. They're ugly.
They're ugly. Yeah, because if they were cute, even if it was for
It
one
didn't
day.
matter,
Oh
right?
my God, look what I got, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if he was cute, she'd be all over it. Look what I got, girl. Eat it up.
That's hilarious. Oh man, but I got a good video for you guys. This
Yeah.
one is really interesting. This one is
go.
very a little on the taboo, I guess. I don't know. So this one is about a dad sending his money to his wife in Mexico for the kids he has with her, but his girlfriend gets mad.
¡Ey! ¿Qué es eso?
¿Qué fregados te pasa? Es un recibo.
Ya sé
Ese
que es un recibo.
Sí, este es un depósito que le hice a mis hijos porque van a empezar la escuela. Les puse dinero para los uniformes y para los útiles.
Ya les habías mandado la semana pasada. ¿Otra vez lo tuviste que mandar
qué
esa
tiene?
arrastrada?
Ey, bájale. No le digas así a la mamá de mis
Es
hijos.
lo que es. ¿Por qué no dices que se ponga a trabajar?
Ey, mira, cálmate. Cuando yo te conocí a ti, yo te dije, yo tengo esposa en México. Yo tengo esposa. Tú eres mi amante, tú no eres mi esposa.
Ya llevas mucho tiempo conmigo. Y
Bueno,
aquí,
sí, bueno,
si
sí.
te vas a quedar conmigo, decídete. Te
No.
vas a responsabilizar de los gastos aquí en la casa y a mí me vas a mantener.
Me responsabilizo, pero yo tengo mis hijos allá.
No, necesitas...
No, ¿sabes qué? Si no te gusta, tú búscale o le busco yo.
Necesitas
A mí no me la-
cortarle los fondos allá. Ya es mucho dinero lo que les mandas.
Lo siento, pero te lo vuelvo a recalcar otra vez. Ella es mi esposa, la mamá de mis hijos, y yo no la voy a dejar. Si a ti no te gusta, me voy del apartamento o tú te buscas uno. Pero yo a ella no la voy a dejar.
Está por verse, porque yo no te voy a aguantar.
Y que sea la última vez que le faltas el respeto a ella.
Sí.
No te compares tú con ella.
Tu arrastrada.
What would you do if that couple walks into your office and said, I'm here with my boyfriend and I'm really mad because he's sending his real family and his real kids money? What would you do? What advice could you give that
Listen, he's
couple?
being straight up with her though, telling her.
I will say I respect if he's being straight up.
Yeah.
Like if it's like clear and they both know the deal, that's fine. But I mean, I guess I would have to take them though, right? Because it's just a couple that's trying to make it work. It's not my place to like judge the situation other than
She's
they're
aware,
dysfunctional.
he's aware, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I could see that. Because I've worked with polyamorous couples before, Like a lot of them.
We
And
haven't talked about
Polyamorous.
that.
Explain that to the people that don't understand. Like me.
Polyamorous is just an open. It's an open
Raise on me.
relationship. So I've had one where they were just boyfriend girlfriend, but they're open to have different relationships. And then even then, some polyamorous couples are like, okay, you can't have a relationship with another person, but you can sleep around. That's fine. But you can't be emotionally attached to them. Or other ones where it's like, no, you can have sex, but you could also have like literally boyfriends girlfriends on the sides. It's completely fine.
I want a polyester relationship.
Polyester.
What is it called?
Polyamorous.
Oh,
Polyamorous.
okay, I thought polyester. Okay, there you go.
Oh, wait. Well, but
You better not even say that jokingly.
like, spoiler, they don't work.
I know.
No.
Yeah.
Ever?
Ever.
Never.
Ever. Do you know what?
What's
what
the
the funny
longest?
thing is too? By the way, it's the same problem across the board with all of them. Someone cheats.
How you cheat if you're in a
But
poly?
I
Yeah,
know,
but
I was
you-
gonna
you
say-
No, I know,
agree.
I know. That's a dumb. Okay. Here's how they cheat. They talk about it and they say, "Look, here's the ground rules. If you want to sleep with someone, it either has to be at a hotel, it has to be in our house. I have to be there, or I have to not be there." They have
Okay.
rules.
They set that up
They set
before.
the boundaries,
Okay.
and every time without fail, someone breaks those boundaries and betrayal happens.
If Eve ate the apple,
Dun,
you
dun,
think you can
dun.
trust this girl? Come on.
Dun, dun, dun.
True.
But it never works. But one thing too, side note, is it's always one person pushing it on the other one. I've
So
not,
it's
at
never
least
really
so far.
fully on both or
No.
three.
What
four.
is like the? Because I've seen so many like reality shows. Me and Rocio, that's our thing.
That's our thing. Yeah.
And we have seen like Love Is Blind, like all these things. But what do you find is the common denominator of a person who wants to be in a like polygamous relationship? Like, what is like a common factor? Did they have like their dad walked out, or what? What
Yeah,
is,
do
like,
they have like they grow up in a bad environment? Did
Yeah.
they feel
Common
lonely?
denominator in every person that participates in this, it would be what?
Well, I guess two things I noticed. Interestingly enough, for one couple, it was the husband, and the other couple, it was the girlfriend that wanted to. So, like, so far, I haven't had any, like, it's only guys asking for that. But one thing I can tell you is it's two things I noticed. One, the person seems to have a attachment type style that's a little bit, like, distant. Like they're not overly, they're independent, basically. They're not overly attached to their partner. So that's one thing I noticed. But number two, they're very selfish. Very selfish. Like, just across the board, that's just their issue. They're very, like, me, kind of inward thinking. And so, yeah, these are the people asking for it. And I feel so bad for one couple because the guy would have his wife be with other people while he either watched or video or whatever the case was. And I got a chance to talk to the wife on the side because I'm like, I really want to hear what you think. Because you're seeming cool about it, but I don't know. Dude, she broke down crying. She was like, I resent him for making me do that.
He did eat the situation?
He did.
That's a new verb, the
He
diddy.
did.
When,
He
when
did.
somebody
I was
makes
like,
you do
what?
something that you
I
don't want to
swear, I
do.
was like, what did I
You're
just
diddy.
hear?
You're diddy. She diddy her.
I
No,
know.
no, because that's what
He
Diddy
did.
does.
No, it's true, it's true.
You're an
He did
usher
do
having a
it.
good time.
No, absolutely. That's why I was shook.
That's
I was
exactly
like,
right.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah,
did.
he did eat the
He
situation.
did eat the situation. A
He
poor
did.
girl.
Wow.
Poor. Yeah, I feel so bad.
But
Would
does
that
she-
be considered rape?
I mean, I would.
D-
Yeah,
um,
probably.
Even though he didn't rape her, he said, "Hey, I want you to be with this person," and she
But if
willingly
he's
did
getting
it.
some kind of
Well,
benefit.
I will say she did it, but she definitely did not consent to it. It wasn't something she wanted to do. It was more like, you're gonna leave me, and I'm financially dependent on you.
Oh. So
Oh.
she's
So-
doing things because she knows he'll leave. if she
Exactly.
doesn't.
Remember, he can easily. This is like fourth marriage. Like, he had no issues
Wow.
leaving. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
why she knew that, and she's really like attached to him.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow. Now, that
Took a
wasn't the
turn,
video.
But the video was
I-
not
I'm glad
long.
we went.
Yeah,
I'm- I
Okay.
went. I'm glad we went to these relationships, but that wasn't the video.
No,
That
No,
this
didn't
was
is
get
not-
just,
answered.
that
you
we
know, if you're the lover knew, he is married and he has another family in Mexico, and now she's upset because he's continuously sending money to these kids. They're going to school now, so but she's like, wait, you already send them money. You can't keep sending them more money.
Yeah.
How would you deal with that? Like, lover situation. I mean,
What advice
what's-
would you give her? Because obviously she's
you
the
know,
one that's
The
bothered.
girlfriend.
but you've
Yeah, the
known.
girlfriend. What would you give the girlfriend's advice? What would
She
you tell her?
knew. He's being quite open with her, and he's not lying to her, and he's always saying
Yeah.
she's always gonna be my wife. She's always gonna be my number one.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
calls her his mistress. You're
Yeah.
you're
Yeah,
the mistress.
You're the
Yeah.
mistress. You know that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's true. I'll be honest. I think I would just question her and ask her, like, what was the deal? Like, when you guys got together, what was it you agreed to?
Obviously, that was the deal.
That
because
was the deal.
He
Yeah,
tells her,
exactly.
"Hey, what are we talking about here? You already said yes to this."
Exactly.
So that was the deal.
So I would have to tell her that, like, hey, like, you are changing the terms on him. Now, you can go ahead, bring him to the table and ask him if he's cool with it, but if he's not, what are you going to do about that? That's what I would tell her personally, because it's like, you agreed to this, now you're changing it because you don't like it. Fine, you can. But if he's not cool with it, what are you going to do about it? Because if you stay, you're going to resent him. Like, that would be my fear. You're going to resent him, hate him, whatever.
Yikes.
And he rather you resent him than his kids. So he's going to send them money.
Exactly.
He really loves them.
Take notes, guys.
It reminds me of Eddie Griffin. He goes, "Man, shut up. You just have the old keep a end baby. Your daddy is good. Your mama was no good. Your grandma kept telling her, go get yourself a good man. That man ain't no good. He ain't got no job. He ain't no good." I mean, you know what I mean? That's if you knew what you were getting yourself into.
Oh my God.
I had a friend that told me, and this was the saddest thing I ever heard. I had a friend that told me, my dad called me to tell me to talk to my mom and tell her to stop garnishing his wages because he needs to feed his kids.
I remember that.
Yep.
And I'm like, wait, aren't you his kid? Yeah. How's he calling me to tell your mom to
And
not
he
take
was a
money for
teenager,
you
right?
away?
Yeah.
Huh?
He was a teenager at the time.
16 or 15.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not going to tell mom not to get money for me. Are you serious? I'm your son. Like, you need to pay for me.
That's the saddest thing.
sad.
But it was the saddest thing. Like now you're going to go tell your mom, hey, mom, don't ask dad for money. He needs to pay for his real
That's
kids.
sad.
Or his
Other
other
kids.
kids. The kids he does love.
God.
Crazy. That's sad.
Well, that's interesting.
Look, on that note.
On that note,
All right, guys. Interesting. We had a fan question actually come in, and I think this is a really common question that happens a lot. Can your partner have a best friend that is of the opposite sex?
No.
well, listen,
I'm
before
sorry.
you answer,
It's like, no.
we're asking.
Oh,
I
the
agree.
expert
Just so you
here.
know, I agree.
Oh, my bad.
Okay.
Have you had that question before? Post it.
I've had that.
Okay,
Yes,
what
I
was
have.
your answer to this?
I think whoever's in that situation should be honest with themselves and say, am I able to have a friend that's the opposite sex female? If you're going to do that, be honest with yourself, because if you're that type of person who loves attention, needs that attention, affection, if you're not getting it from your wife or girlfriend and you're getting it from your friend, that you're opening the doors. You're playing with fire there. And trust me when I tell you, a lot of the people that come in that cheated, it was with a friend or a coworker. And it was someone who's giving them attention, who was a friend. So that's why I do tell people, like, look, if you do whatever you want, if you want to have a friend that's opposite sex, great. But be honest with yourself if you can handle that, if you're going to do that. Because I had a couple where that happened, and I told them directly, you're not that type of guy. You can't have a friend that's a girl. You just can't. You cheated on already with a friend, and you really love attention from females. Like, you're just not that guy. You can't have a friend like that. So, I mean, you can,
Was he
but...
like-
I see Richard's brain.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
So-
Richard.
So, yeah, no, he's just-
Richard, tag your it.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. I agree. I don't put myself in situations where I know I'm gonna cheat. Do you understand? There's so many times where I've been invited to a party bus. Let's do this, Richard. After the shows, they'll tell me, come to our house. I'm like, no. Because once I leave this club and you guys are drinking and I'm drinking, things are going to happen. If I don't want to be in that situation, I won't put myself in those situations. As a man, you have to understand, how valuable is my family? Do I want to mess this up? No, I can't go to the party bus. Sorry. Oh, come on. We're not going to do nothing. You're not going to do it. I'm not going to do nothing if I stay here. Do you understand? I don't know what's going to happen if I get in that bus. So I consciously have to make decisions every single night. Not only what's going to drive me to do something bad, but what's going to perceive to be bad.
Yeah.
Do you understand? The
Yeah,
perception
yeah,
of
yeah,
people
yeah.
going, oh, why are you in this bus, or why are you hanging out at this club? And by all means, I'm very transparent. If I'm going to a strip club, if I'm going somewhere at a bar or a club, and I've called her and told her, hey, I'm going with these guys. Why? Because there have been situations where I went to a nightclub and her friends were there.
Oh, yeah.
And right away they called her.
got a call.
And she's like, I know, he
Damn
told
straight.
me.
I would have called you too, Rocio.
I know.
Yeah, I was like, I know.
But I had already told her I'm going to a club because we're meeting with the owner so we can do a comedy show
But the
here.
funny part is, like, you do? You know?
Yes. Like,
Yeah.
so.
Well, you know that. We know that because we're older. But, like, this younger generation, I've seen that, like, they start dating, and then they're like, "Oh, I can't wait for you to meet my best friend," and it's the opposite sex, and for me, I'm just like, I don't get that because my husband is my best friend. Like,
Right.
I don't get me having another guy as a best friend, and I can't even imagine saying like, "Hey, Irvin, do you want to go work out with us?" Like he'd be like, "What? Like I'm the third wheel here?"
Right.
That's just weird to me.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, can I just put a button on this? You nailed it on the head. Your best friend is the person that rides or dies with you. The person that's gonna get hurt when you hurt. The person that's gonna be damaged when you're damaged. You understand? For me to not make money, for me to not succeed, she doesn't succeed. For her not to succeed, I don't succeed. Do you understand? There's a balance there. The only person that gets hurt is the person standing next to me, not my best friend. Because see, when something hits the fan, they're not gonna be there for me. Rocio
Exactly.
is. Any best friend I have right now, I've told her they're not my friends because at the end of the day, they don't help me pay the mortgage. They don't help me take care of my kid. That's it. I think we're
No
when you're
new
younger,
friends.
well,
No new friends.
no new friends.
All right, guys. You guys have both been married, right? Twice.
You don't have to bring it up like
know.
that.
Called out, man.
God,
I think it's really interesting to say it like that because I want to know from you, what are the reasons you chose to marry for the first time, and what was the reason you chose to marry for the second time? Because I know they're two different things. There's a reason why you married the first time and that didn't work out. What happened? What changed the second time? Because we're better. The second time is better.
You guys are like,
I know you're not in trouble. You're not in trouble. We're already here. We're still
It better be
here.
good.
Well, as we answer this in front of our wives,
I know, right?
You made make sure
Thanks
you
a
get
lot,
that right.
fans.
Thanks.
I like these
no,
kind
I
of
mean,
questions,
I've
guys.
talked to Gabby about this, and I've talked about it with you guys. I'm very transparent. I only got married because I just had a low self-esteem, and in my head, genuinely, the idea of being with someone who I wasn't truly in love with was way better than the alternative of being lonely. That's how I saw it at that time in my life. When I was I got married. I think, turned 21. I was like 20 going on 21. I got married so early, and this person was like threatening to leave. And I was just, obviously I had low self-esteem. So I was willing to just, like, in my head, I made the math. I'd rather be with someone and miserable than miserable and lonely. And so that wasn't fair to her, to be honest, either, because you could tell if you're not with someone that doesn't want to be with you. Like, that wasn't fair. And so, there was a infidelity there on her part, and it didn't work out. And one thing my dad always taught me, and that I genuinely believe because I do therapy, is when people cheat, it's always going to be on the table for them. Always. I get to talk to people and hear their private thoughts. It's always an option.
Explain that to me.
Yeah.
When people cheat, that's always going to be an option on the table?
Yep.
Explain that in detail. What does that mean?
So look, I don't go once a cheater, always a cheater, because someone can cheat and never cheat for the rest of their life, but the option's there now because they crossed that boundary. It is no longer scary. It's more of like a really bad option, maybe even
with
a last option.
new partners, or you're saying with just that one partner?
Just across the board, because when you cheat, in the case of some of the people I've worked with, they were so unhappy that instead of working on the marriage and running towards a marriage or relationship, they chose to go outside because it was the easier option. Now they know there's always an easier option for them. And so I've seen a lot of people struggle with that. Now, again, I'm not a believer once a cheater, always a cheater, but I definitely believe it will always be an option if things get bad enough. Because I've seen it. But
yeah.
Okay.
I would say that's my take, at least.
All right. And why'd you get married again once you went through something
Yeah.
like that? I would be like,
love.
hell no.
Yeah.
I mean, Gabby, hello.
I mean, she's nice and everything.
No. The second time around, I ended up going back to church. That was something that's important to me. Just, it's something that's important to me. And I just left it up to, in my case, God. And I was like, you know what? I don't trust my own judgment. I'm just going to focus my energy on something that I think is positive, that brings value to my life. And I just kind of left it open. Like, if I'm going to meet the right one, I want them to be of similar value to me. I want them to really feel like a life partner to me. Like, that's what I was looking for. And I just remember, if I could describe it, I was like, I want someone who's like a moral compass. Because I'm so easy to be lazy. I need someone to really focus me because I'm just all over the place. And when I met Gabby, like, look, put it this way. When I met Gabby, I was a security guard. I didn't have a degree. I didn't have a profession, and I was like making 10 or 11 bucks an hour. I was just not doing anything. Literally within 4 years, I got all the way to a master's and just started doing a career. All that because she genuinely made me better. You know, I mean, I remember I told her early on about wanting to get married, and you know what she told me? She's like,
not with you, loser.
I mean,
Pretty
she
much.
said it in a nicer way. If I'm being honest with you.
I mean,
No. I mean, look, she said, look, she literally told me, like, that's great, babe, that's great. But how are we gonna do it? You'll make 11 bucks an hour.
She's like, oh, that's cute. Oh my god.
So cute.
Oh, I don't know. She might as well have like just like you're so cute. Like, just she might as well have said that. I was like, oh, okay. And but I'll tell you this, that put a fire under my butt.
So you married a gold digger. I'm just kidding.
No.
That's the moral
There was
to
no
the story.
gold. There was no gold. You were a prospector.
it pushed
You
him.
understand? You went and you put in the work to dig out that gold. That's what I like.
It pushed him to
That's
be a
what I
better
like.
Saw
person.
potential.
You saw potential. You saw raw,
See that? It
raw
pushed him to
wood,
be a
and you said,
better
I can make
person.
something out of this.
I mean, Richard, we want to hear from you.
Oh, I
First
was
and
a
then-
dog.
first
I was
time and then
nothing like
second time.
Irvin. I was, man, I was in and out. I was
Can you not
dating-
say it like that?
Okay. I'm just,
I'm right here.
He
He
said
said
the
it.
real. The real.
The raw
I'm right
story.
here,
man, babe, but you're the one that tamed me. You understand?
That's
You're the
right.
one that
I don't know
won.
about that. I mean, I did fix your credit score. I did fix your credit score.
You did fix my credit score. When
That's
she met
important.
me, I was at 520. Now I'm at 549, by the way. Oh, no, 849. 849. no,
There we
sorry.
go. Okay.
But no, I never limit myself. I think being the second kid in my family of 5 boys, I was always the guy adventuring out there, traveling, doing everything I wanted to do. I dated whoever I wanted to do. I did everything I wanted to do. The only thing I couldn't do was create a life. And I always wanted to be a father. That's something I always knew that I was going to be really good at. I wanted to be a dad. And so my dad dying at that time lit a match under my ass. I said, okay, enough dating, enough hanging out. At this time, I'm working at the Hollywood Improv. My career's been successful. I'm working at a TV show now. Everything is going great. And I said, all I need now is a wife and a kid. And I didn't go based on love or anything like that. I go based on physical attributes. Okay, I want my kid to be tall, and I want my kid to be this, and I want them to have that. And I'm looking at her like a fucking horse. Like I'm looking at her like, all right, this is good. This is good. This is gonna work. like I'm literally looking at her livestock, and I'm like, if we mate, we're gonna create a creature that's gonna be super creature. Like I'm in my head, like I'm not the best kid.
He's making an avatar over here.
Yeah. But I didn't realize that she also had feelings, and she also had her own mind, and she also had her own thoughts, and she was also a Border Patrol agent. So when they
my
come with
God.
that type of attitude, and I'm a comedian,
An
so
alpha.
we just right away clash. And it was
Two
I
alphas.
married her for the wrong reasons. I wanted to have a kid before my dad passed away. I didn't think it was fair that all my brothers had kids, and my dad got to see them. And thank God that nothing happened. Thank God we never got pregnant. Thank God we never had a kid, because a year later I was out. I was like, I can't. I mean, I want to have a kid, but not like with her.
Right.
Like I already knew, like, and it was weird because it was one situation with my niece where she started screaming at her, and she was teaching her homework, and she's just losing her cool. And I'm like, ugh, that's who I'm going to leave my kid behind with? Her? I was done. I was like, I'll never leave my kid with her. I'm out. If I'm not going to leave my kid with her, then who's going to take care of my kid? Because once again, I got to go on the road. I was like, no, I'm done. Right away, in seconds, I knew. I already knew I was getting divorced. She had no clue, and I waited 6 months. Just because I needed my niece out of my house. Because that's who she was teaching my niece. She was helping with my niece. I had taken her in.
Fostering.
But once I saw how she treated my niece, I was like, okay, this is how you treat kids. I'm out. Like, I knew I was getting divorced. And that's when I knew I wasn't in love with her. Yeah. It was literally, I saw her as livestock. I saw her as an opportunity to have the best kid ever, not really knowing. And in my mind, I'll love her later. But that was it. So when I made my decision to leave, it was really easy because there was no feelings involved. It was just like, this doesn't make sense anymore.
So the second time, what was the reason?
Well, second time. I'm just stupid. No, I'm just kidding. No. I'm joking, babe. I'm joking. It's a joke. No.
It's okay.
No, when I met her, I met her before I got divorced. But I was married, so we didn't talk. For a whole year, I didn't get to talk to her. When I met her, I was like, in my mind, I was like, man, I should have married her. But I was married.
I was like, peace.
I literally told her I should have, and in my mind, I was like, I should have married her. And then I never saw her for a year. And then a year later, I see her again. and I'm divorced now. I'm like, oh, I remember I was supposed to marry this one. And that's it, because I really wanted a family, and like him, I didn't need anybody to motivate me. I needed somebody to put boundaries on me, because when you never had a boundary in life, when you get to do any drug, any alcohol, do it and splurge on anything you want to do, nobody's holding you back, you're going to burn out. And I needed somebody that pulls me back, and I need to know that tomorrow I have to take my daughter to school. I can't be drunk tonight. You know what I mean? Like those type of things. So for me, it's a great balance. Being married for me is the best thing for me. If not, I'd be a train wreck.
What advice do you guys give people out there in the dating world? What should they look for? What's the one thing that
big
they should
booty,
be?
a big booty. If you get, I'm joking, by the way. There's guys listening to this thing go, see, I told you.
Well, what's the
I'm
most important
joking.
thing that somebody should look for in like a partner, whoever it may be? What's the most important thing that they should look? Was it love? Is it finance?
What do you think?
I work with a lot of like women that are like super young and they're like looking for someone, and the thing that always astounds me is how much they focus on the physical, like if someone's hot. Or they're really funny, and I mean these are great things, right? You want to be attracted to the person, you want them to be funny and fun, but most people make the mistake, like I did the first time around, of not thinking the person that you marry, like 80% of your life problems are going to come from them if you don't treat them right. If you don't like make a good decision, a majority of your life problems come from your spouse, right? And so I tell people, like, think about like the fact that you're choosing a life partner, meaning you're gonna build a life with them. Where are you guys going? Are you guys going the same direction? Like that's something that I would tell like a lot of young people, like, hey, it's not just fun. Just don't think about like it's gonna be fun for this next year or 2 years or 3 years. Like think a little further out. Like I'm building a life with this person, and are they trustworthy? Are they smart? Are they someone who you would trust your finances or life with? So that for me was something that like I didn't really think about the first time around. So that would be my advice.
Well, listen, when Gabby met Irvin, he was a security guard. If she went based on that, she would have been like, oh, hell no. I don't even want to start with this guy because I don't know where it's going. So financially, I mean, it's fair. It's fair. My credit was 520 when she met me. So
That's the thing, though. See, we said, wait. We said what we want. We voiced what we want. And we said, like, are these guys going to do it? If they're going to do it, then we're going to stick around. If not,
if they have potential,
we're going to bounce.
Okay. So
and,
don't.
And we didn't have to bounce.
Right.
We didn't have to bounce. They did what they needed to do.
I think if you can get along with that person, and it's somebody that you can see yourself getting along with for many, many years, that's really important. Because if I can't stand you, regardless, if every conversation is an argument, I don't want this. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. That's why, for the most part, people marry people that listen to the same music. They're into the same things. Maybe same culture. Do you understand? Sometimes people say, oh, multicultural relationships don't work. No, because you're not used to each other's customs. But if you're willing to be open-minded, you're not going to have any problems with it. Yeah. But
well, now let's say we found the right person, right? Okay. Does the size of the ring matter?
Oh, when you said the size,
I was like, wait a minute, what are we talking about?
The size does matter. Let me tell you.
See what I did there? I know, you dirty minds. You guys, get your head out of the gutter.
Girl, I thought the same thing.
So how much should you spend on a ring, and does the size matter of the ring?
Have you had complaints of people coming to you and say, he didn't, look at my ring, it's garbage,
so
how dare he? Do they come to you like you're going to go, yeah, that's right, sir, come on.
He got it at Walmart.
Do you ever had that conversation about the ring size?
I've never had that conversation. I'll be honest with you, not even once.
Nobody complained?
I don't remember that being the case.
Okay, so what does this tell me? That tells me that that's not the reason you're getting divorced, and why are you hanging yourself on that? How big is my ring? If that's not the reason you're getting divorced, I asked him right now, have you ever confronted? He said no. So ring doesn't really matter.
But it does.
How?
Well, because I would think that.
Give her a sec.
Did you see how she looked at her ring?
I know. That's what I'm saying. She's looking at her ring like.
Look at her. Wait.
Because I can see myself in it.
Because we live in a very consumerism world, and the first thing that happened when I got engaged was every single girl at work, not Rocio, because we didn't know each other then, grabbed my hand and they looked at my ring.
They do look.
And they do that, and it's for a reason. They're trying to see the diamond. Now I could care less because I just wanted like I had kind of shown Irvin like, oh, this is kind of what I like. I'm very old school. I like old school kind of rings, whatever. And for me, it was never like, oh, I have to have a big diamond. But I know that a lot of girls are like, it's just a flex. Like, oh, look, my man
For
got
sure.
me this ring because he has a good job and he has money and whatever. So I think it's like an economic status and the potential of like, oh, you guys are going to be like financially awesome or well. But it is a big thing because why else would girls do that, right? Oh, let me see.
Is that important to you to have a good ring, or that people think that you have a nice diamond?
Not to me. I don't
No.
really care.
See, guys, I think if that's your case, if you're a girl that did get engaged and your husband or fiance wasn't able to get you the best ring and you really don't care what people think about that ring, put it in the middle finger. Let me see your ring. Go, here you go. Look, it's beautiful, isn't it?
I like that.
You know what I mean? There you go. That lets them know it's none of your business.
It's
You know what I mean?
true.
I put it right there. Put it right there,
That's a
girls.
big- That's a really
That's
big finger, Richard.
I feel
Size does matter.
It does.
I feel though it's kind of like the first video that we're talking about, like
Yeah.
right? Because like you're flexing. What are you
Yeah.
flexing? Because no one cares. I love Irvin, and I was like, I didn't care.
Right. At the end of the day, you're going to be the one spending the time with that person, and that's what matters.
Well, listen, I do remember Tom Leykis was a radio host on a talk show.
I remember
That's right.
Tom
And he
Leykis.
would talk
Oh,
about the
gosh.
ring size.
Yeah.
And I when I heard that, I was like, well, it makes kind of sense. He says, the bigger the girl, the smaller the diamond. The smaller the girl, the bigger the diamond. So your physical size will reflect on your diamond that you wear. And once he said that, you know, you see, oh, I just got married, and you see the
started
size of the
noticing?
girl, and then you see the size of the ring, and go, oh my God, Tom was right.
I remember that.
Remember that? And I was like, oh my God. So when I was going to get Rocio's ring, I said, I better go get a big one.
I was like, yeah, because I heard what Tom said, and I don't want to know that I am chubby.
Yeah, she said, this ring better be 2 carats and up. I don't want to see none of that.
Oh, wow. You guys, that was really interesting.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
Word of advice when it comes to rings. You got to adapt to our society now. You got to be mindful. You got to be smart. You're going to go in debt because of what you just said.
Exactly.
Because girls out there that are being proposed to are going, no, even if I buy the ring, we'll pay it in payments, babe. Let's go.
Well,
And you both as a couple go and you get into debt, and now you're paying 25,
tell you.
15,000 right off the bat. You're not even married yet. You haven't
Yeah.
even got your own apartment yet. But you and him now are paying for a ring for $15,000 where you could have used that for a down payment for an apartment or a home. So let's be smart about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forget about that ring. Those rings, those customs are old. That's when we can buy a house for $4. That was when you can have really
Yeah.
good incomes. That's when the wife stayed home. That was back then. Right now, you just need to survive.
That was in the
When the first
1900s.
Yeah, early.
you're gonna get divorced because of that
Yeah.
loan.
Yeah.
Because now financially you're screaming at each other, but you wanted the ring.
Right.
Well, real quick,
Right.
I knew somebody that actually bought her own engagement ring. Bought her own engagement, paid
Ew.
it forever, and never got married.
They never got me.
Never got married.
Crap.
They saw each other for like 15 years. I don't, and I think they're still kind of seeing each other, but I'm not sure. But like for 15 years, never got married. Paid that ring had I don't know how much interest, and it was like sad to see because
Wow.
she wanted so badly to get married to this person that she ended up buying. Don't do it, girls. Don't do it.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
Buy a condo, buy a car.
Buy yourself
Yes.
something for
Don't
you.
have a big
and
old wedding either.
Yeah, no, just elope and go
Yeah,
have
seriously.
a nice little dinner.
Yeah. Buy a house.
But yeah, exactly.
Right.
Now you're married, guys. Right? Now you're
Yeah.
married.
All
Yeah,
of-
you
yeah.
guys are here. There's no way I can
This is
deny
going
it.
to be the question of the hour, the last question of the hour.
Mhm.
Should your partner be able to track your location?
What are you looking at me for?
Because you're tracking him. He wants
She's
to-
tracking you.
Yeah, I know, but he's looking at you.
He travels.
No, it's not a big deal to me. I'll say that. It's not a big deal to me because, like, I
She's
have.
sitting next to you.
I-
Is
well,
that why
she's-
that's not a
I-
big
I-
deal to you?
I need help.
Have a
No.
knife under the table.
I know, just like, no, just I don't know. I don't really care. I don't really go anywhere that I have to worry of her tracking me. Like, for me, I'll be honest. I'm more like if something happened and let's say she doesn't hear from me for like hours, like I would like her to know where I'm at. So I'm more of like a practical person, but I don't know. I don't really like. It's not a big deal to me, but I know it's a big deal to other people. Like I don't know, maybe for you.
No, I don't really care either. I've come to the conclusion that if the government can find me, she can find me too. You know what I mean? Like people say
We
the
can
government
find you
is
first before the government.
For real.
they say they're listening. I hope so. I really hope they're listening. So if we ever get a domestic dispute, I'll say, officer, check what you've been listening to. Look how she was screaming at me. She hit me. Like, I don't really care. I think we're being monitored by everybody at all times now. I think cameras are everywhere. There's nowhere you can say you're not being watched. So in that sense, and I'm married too, I would rather her know exactly where I'm at because I'm always everywhere traveling. And if sometimes she'll say, did you go there? I didn't see it. I don't give a shit, man. I was there. It is what it is. But I don't mind. There's some guys, though, I can understand, too, especially if they're a little shady. They're not necessarily cheating. They're not stepping out. They just are doing shit that they don't want to involve you in. Does that make sense? I have friends that do shady shit. And that's why I'm not going to tell you because it's shady shit. And I'm not gonna do it.
I want to know.
But they don't. They get into things.
Yeah.
And they don't want their spouse to go and look them up, or now they're being questioned.
Yeah.
So whatever reason a person has.
Well, it's true. You always say, don't go looking for something.
You will find it.
Yeah.
You will find.
That's what Rocio taught me.
Yeah, learned that from my mama.
100% true. By the way.
Don't look for something because you will find it, and it might not even be something that's bad, but in your eyes, because you're looking for something, you're gonna twist it in your brain and say, "Oh, look at where he was at. He didn't even tell me he was going to go eat there. Who did he go with?" And he's probably just on the way somewhere, stopped to eat, and it just happened to be $500.
Because with Rocio, like, I come home, she finds hotel keys
all the time,
receipts.
That's where he lives, and when he's traveling.
It's normal.
I don't even. It's like whatever. It's so normal to me. But you know what? The amount of times we have found your phone because I track you.
That is true.
Because he loses his phone everywhere.
Yeah, that's why I have a bag.
And the amount of times that we have located your phone and be like, there it is. I see it. Go get it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So see, there's a convenience, right?
It's helpful.
I want to get into some fun stuff to close out and end our show, you guys. Can I have like a dating tip? Who should pay the bill when you go out? Who decides who pays the bill?
Who pays the bill?
Yeah, you're going on a date with somebody. Who's gonna pay the bill? Are you going old school?
I'm asking you. He's like, I haven't had a date in years. I don't know who the hell pays this thing.
No, I mean, my rule has always been to pay. Like, that's just kind of how it goes. I mean, Gabby has paid for stuff before, and it's nice, but it also feels kind of weird, too.
Well, we go out, like, we switch.
Yeah.
Because we do date night, and then I'll be like, it's all me.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I want to.
But in the dating world, like these young people now, because I know back in the day used to be the man paid, right? But now we have different types of couples, and now it's like
listen, now we have Grindr, Tinder, Bumble.
Right.
We have now
Social
where it's
media.
so impersonal. Impersonal or not? No, not. It's not personal anymore. Meaning, if you met somebody before, you got to talk to them on the phone a few times before you even went out.
That's true.
Right? Yeah. And you work up let's have coffee, and then you wait a whole week, and you talk at night all the time. Now with Bumble, hey, you want to go out next Friday? All right, good. I have a date on Friday. That's it.
Okay, so now you're going to dinner. Who pays?
No, this is the thing. Now, because, see, I understand you being a gentleman. Yeah. If I was dating now, this is how it would work. If I was dating now, right now, even as a 46-year-old, I would do this. I'm on Bumble, and a girl likes me. I go, cool, let's go out on a date. Great. She's inviting me. She's paying. Right? If I like her at the end of the date, even though she invited me, I'll pay. If it's a reasonable restaurant, meaning she's going here. If she takes me to Fleming's and some big steakhouse, and now she's racking up a bill, she's going surf and turf and lobster and champagne and margaritas and martinis, and I'm like, oh, no, she's here for a free lunch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you understand? No, you can pay. You picked the restaurant. You invited me here. You're paying for this bill.
Oh, my God.
No. That already is a big red flag.
That's a big red flag.
Especially if you show up in your Honda Civic, 92 Honda Civic. I'm like, I know you got no money. You've never ate here before.
Oh my
You
God,
don't even know
that's
people at
hilarious.
Fleming's. Maybe you worked as a door girl here, but you've never ate here. But you saw me and you said, well, there you go. I'm going to get a free meal at
Yeah.
Fleming's. Nah. You understand why?
Uh-huh.
Why do I not care? Because I can turn around, girl, and go to Bumble again.
Yeah.
And I'll find another one. See?
Yeah.
That's that. Maybe back then when we were
Yeah.
younger,
Yeah,
dear
no.
gentlemen, maybe when I was younger, but not anymore. Those
Yeah, I
days are
think
over.
times are different. I think there shouldn't be that expectation like the man is only going to pay. I think you should at least go with the mentality like 50-50.
Or be
You know,
mindful.
or be mindful.
Meaning,
yes.
There's girls that are just, come on, dude. There's
I've
been
seen that,
situation
yeah.
where it's like martini after martini, and they want this desserts, and they eat like 14 orders of oysters, and you're like, what the
At that
hell?
point, you just get up and go, man.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
You can get up and walk
And
out.
girls are that
something like
shameless out there.
Oh, yeah.
Some
I've
girls are
seen
shameless.
TikToks like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stay away, guys. Be careful.
Oh, I'm glad I'm married. I'm done
Oh,
with
I
that.
know.
I could
Same.
not date in this
No,
like
no.
right now.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
It is tough.
It's
dude.
tough out there. I think.
Scary.
I mean, even my chiropractor said he was like asking me how I met my husband. He's like because he met his wife through
Online.
a social. He's like it's so interesting to hear stories about people who've met offline
Yeah.
because it's so common now.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're-
online dating.
Yeah.
That's
they're like,
that's.
so you guys talk
Yeah. And I'm like,
You talk
in
on the
real
phone?
life in front of each other.
it's funny. Yeah. He's like, older couples, and I'm like, give him the
Older.
stink
Oh,
eye.
Wait a minute.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Right. Excuse me. I'm considered older. I'm from the 1900s. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. We're old.
All right, guys. Closing thoughts from you guys. What'd you guys take from this today? Anything that really stood out to you that you really want to give advice out there?
Yeah, let's see.
Besides, and don't be breaking up anymore, people, Irvin.
Yeah, Irvin,
Okay.
please.
Please
You
give
know, I was
some-
gonna
Listen,
bring
when
that up
I
one more time.
Better
when
advice
I
out
don't
there.
do a good job telling jokes, nobody gets hurt. Just
Yeah.
people don't laugh. But when you mess up, bro,
Yeah.
this is what we're faced with:
That's true.
divorces and people
Oh my
getting,
goodness, that's funny.
getting separated.
Damn it.
So
Promise,
what
guys, he's
advice?
great. Promise.
No, you know what? Okay. How about advice on how to not get there?
Oh, that'd be good.
Easy, right? Positive. Positive, right?
Yeah, advice how not
Okay.
to get into divorce.
You know, one of the theories I use a lot when I do therapy, when it is successful, by the way, which is like pretty high. I'm just gonna put that out there. It's just 2 couples only, but okay. Who's keeping count?
You are.
No, just like
We are now.
Yeah, we are now. No, but the theory I follow is the Gottman method. Is basically, to make a long story short, it's the most effective. It's just amazing. I love it, and it's practical. I don't have to like teach you a bunch of crap. It's really just straightforward. And one of the things that he talks about is called bids, right? BIDS, bids. And a bid is anything. It's little, like if Rocio came and she's like, hey, I just want to show you this TikTok. It's really funny. It's a cat or whatever, right? And let's just say you're busy on your phone and you don't pay attention to her. You just missed a bid. You just missed an opportunity for her to connect with you. Now, if you miss it once, not a big deal. You know, like out of 1,000 times you miss it like 1, 10 times, whatever, not a big deal. But let's say out of 100 times you miss it 60 times. Then she starts to get the message after a while, like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not a priority. Like, you really don't care about me. And a lot of people, when they're like, wait, how were we so in love and now we're like on the brink of divorce? It's the little things. If that's one thing I freaking learned both in my marriage and in seeing other people not succeed in their marriage, it's literally the little things that add up over time and you just don't pay attention to them until it's too late. So just pay attention to the little things and then you'll be all right. Like literally, it's that simple. You'd be surprised. That's one of the first things I do in therapy. Just start paying more attention to your partner.
Irvin, this reminds me of that one couple that you said. I think that the wife or the husband would like change out the peanuts for her, like her snack drawer, her
Oh, the
granola.
Yeah.
And then one time he didn't do it, and she knew there was something wrong.
Yep.
Right? That reminds me. That's a little thing that she noticed.
Yeah, it's literally the little things. Every time, it's never this big, like, he did this or he cheated or whatever. Like, if that didn't happen, it's always like, I just don't feel like a priority. It's usually what I hear from wives or girlfriends. I don't feel important or like a priority.
Wow.
I think more as look into you, and if it's not something that you're scared of losing, like if this doesn't scare you at all, then you're really not in love. Like, love is scary. Love is controlling. Love it takes over. I can, in my mind, fathom the day where me and Rocio and Oli are not together. Like, but that's because I understand. Okay, this is part of my life. This is my identity. I accept this, and it scares me to lose it. That's what keeps me faithful. That's what keeps me, like you said, in touch with the little things. And it's an ongoing battle. It's not something that, oh, I'm perfect and do it. I trip and I fall and I get up again and we do it again. But I'm more scared of that, of losing them. And if I'm scared of losing them, you do everything in your power to not lose them.
Yeah.
So if you don't have that fear, you're going to lose them. Find that reason why you're there. Like, don't just go through the motions. Am I here because I want to be here? And listen, that's my situation. I don't know who's watching this. If you ask yourself that question and you go, I don't give a fuck, then guess what? You shouldn't be married. No, it's true.
It's
In
true.
your mind, you're not making her happy. You're not happy either, and the kids are miserable, I guarantee you.
Oh, yeah.
Do you understand? So for me, is if you ask yourself, would this scare the hell out of me, losing them? Okay, then I gotta do the little things so I never lose this, and always have that fear. The reason we behave with God, because we know we fear Him. Does that make sense? So, and I'm not saying fear your spouse like you fear God. You can only fear God. That's the Almighty. But I'm talking about if you don't have any fear of losing them, then there's nothing driving you to do the little things. And if that's not happening, then it's time to either come see Irvin or call it quits. What? Let's ask you girls a question.
Ask me what?
What?
The same question you're asking us.
What?
Oh, I just think it's cute you love me.
Oh.
You don't get to hear this all the time
It is
from
cute
Richie.
that you said that you are scared of losing her.
That is really cute. I thought that was really nice of you to say that. I was like, oh, I mean, I know that, and
Yeah.
I think that too. But it's nice to hear you say that.
There you go,
Sometimes
guys.
it's
And
just-
say it. You know,
Sometimes it just becomes a therapy session for us. You
Yeah.
know, sometimes I'm like, oh, that was nice. Can we do this again?
It's true.
Right?
I learned.
We learn from our little sessions.
Listen,
here.
Irvin, if you don't want them here next week, we can get.
You know what? We can get the real stuff out of these guys.
All right.
That's
All right.
it for today,
That's
guys.
it for
Yeah.
today. All right. Dating advice. Can we give them some dating tips, like for date night? Anything? Right off the top.
I'd say if you're going out to dinner, ask your significant other what they think you're gonna take them out to eat, and then whatever they guess, say yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay. So guess what, babe? I have a surprise for you. Guess where I'm gonna take you to eat.
And then she
Just
guesses
just
like
guess.
I don't know, Olive Garden.
Oh my God, you got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
Oh,
that's what she really
That's
wants.
a
That's,
good one.
yeah,
That's a
that's
good
what they
one.
really want to eat. You know.
All right.
That's true.
Any advice for married couples or dating couples? Something fun they can do?
I have no idea. We keep it simple. Movies, like go watch a movie.
All right.
Yeah, I
Like,
love movies.
You know,
Movies are
movie,
great.
dinner,
Drive-in, do a drive-in. Those are
drive
fun.
in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
do
maybe
that.
do a little, a little
A picnic?
alcohol a little bit before. Just
All
so
right.
you're a little relaxed, you know.
Oh,
Pretty good.
look at
And you're at the
Gabby.
drive-in?
She's
Oh
like,
my God!
yes.
You see the Vanna knocking? Don't come out. And the rocking, don't come knocking.
It's Beetlejuice.
Nobody
Beetlejuice.
saw the movie.
No, I don't
Nobody
know.
saw. Any advice you can give these couples out there?
You know, to go with something she said, keep it simple. I like the idea of weekly dates that are like simple, like you're constantly spending time with them. Like you're making them feel like a priority by like, spending time with them consistently.
Yeah.
That's.
I kind of like.
I'd say have sex before you go out,
Oh,
especially if you're old.
Of course.
Oh,
it
like
is.
If you're,
us, like us.
if
like
you're an
us.
older couple and you're gonna go on date night, listen, go. You take a shower. That's the moment you guys get it out of the way, and then go on your dinner, go on your date, go on your movie, go to
That's
the drive,
true.
go
Get
wherever
out of
you
the
want.
way.
Why? Because if you go out drinking and having, se te va a dormir. He's gonna fall asleep, and then it's like, ooh, ahí está. We didn't get nothing done on the date night. I'm just saying, get it out of the way. You're date performers now. That's what you call yourselves now. Date performers. You don't perform at night. You perform during the day.
And you enjoy
And
your
that-
dinner.
Actually, a good idea.
After 40, I'm telling you, best advice I can give you. Perform before you leave.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that is it. This was very fun. This was a lot
Very
of
fun, guys. I'm glad we're back.
Yes,
Woo,
yes,
woo.
yes.
See you guys next week.
Yes, and thank you to the studio here. We're in our new home, the
love it.
Tranny film studio. So super excited. I hope you guys like it, and we'll see you
Thank
next
guys.
month.
Yeah.
I mean, next week. It's next week. We'll see you
next
next week. And thank you to all the sponsors here. Take a look at them, and please support our sponsors. They're the reason why we have this show
Please.
every single week. Thank you very much. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
One of our sponsors that provides us this beautiful home where we can bring you all this information is Fairway Staffing. They allow us to come to the studio and provide you with this kind of content. So please support them if you are looking for any workforce, any employees for companies, fundraisers, whatever event you have, you need manpower, they can help you. Fairway Staffing at fairwaystaffing.com. Clovis Realty. Thank you very much for sponsoring this show. Listen, sometimes it works out, so you're going to have to sell this home. Why not go to them? You're in good hands. What if it does work out and you want to buy a home? Go with them. So thank you very much for sponsoring this show. We'll leave the email. You can contact Ignacio. Tell him I sent you.
I'd like to thank the sponsors of this podcast, one of them being Weber Counseling Services. It's actually somewhere that I work. If you need any sort of mental health needs from family therapy, couples counseling, individual, or any trauma work, we are the clinic for you. We have several qualified therapists there, me included. And one of the things that I really want to specify is that we do EMDR. It's therapy used for trauma work. So if there's something that you have a hard time getting past, that's something that I really highly recommend.